Welcome, everybody, back to the Slow Burn Professional Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. Guys, welcome back to the Slow Burn. We're glad to have you here. Huge day today. Probably going to go with a little bit of a quick episode today. Going to be honest, I got a dentist appointment. What are you going to do? You got to get these things taken care of. So anyway, as we move forward, I don't want to rush. I know I have the tendency to do that. So slow down. There's lots to talk about, right? So here we go. I got a lot I want to get in. Obviously, our main thing I really want to get into today is going to be our Raw on Netflix. Monday Night Raw, WWE making its grand appearance on Netflix tonight. We're promised 3+ hours. We're going to go over that. I guarantee you it's going to be a wonderful day. And I think all of us should take off work tomorrow. So there you go. Slow Burn gives you permission. By the way, I will be at work, so that won't hold up at all. So we had a lot of stuff happen this weekend as well. We went over SmackDown earlier on, but now I want to go over some AEW Collision as we move forward. Big night on there. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, and I really want to talk a little bit about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, so as I said, quiet weekend we had this weekend with professional wrestling, or so you thought. All right, you might have thought, well, hey, there's no WWE PLEs, there's no AEW pay-per-views, but there kind of was. There's no TNA if you're into that, but guys, if you're into wrestling and you still have a chance to go see this right now on Triller TV, but New Japan Pro Wrestling had 2 shows this weekend, both coming from their mecca, the Tokyo Dome. All right, you guys, like in our world, like for basketball, the great arenas, the Boston Garden, the old school fabulous Forum for LA, the Madison Square Garden, obviously, that's our mecca. And honestly, it's probably our biggest mecca for professional wrestling as well. It can be argued for other ones, but the mecca for professional wrestling in Japan is the Tokyo Dome. And that is New Japan's area. Like WWE's area is New York and Madison Square Garden. Well, New Japan has that locked down, and they run 2 of their biggest shows of the year in consecutive days. One was Wrestle Kingdom, which took place on Friday. And then the second one was Wrestle Dynasty, which took place on Saturday. Now, Wrestle Kingdom was basically just New Japan wrestling stars. You had a few other bleed-ins from a couple other. New Japan lets their guys go do some independent booking dates as well. But Wrestle Dynasty was kind of an intermix, and that was the idea. It was almost a Forbidden Door type thing, like how AEW does their Forbidden Door pay-per-views. But you had New Japan wrestlers, you had AEW wrestlers, you had some of the female wrestlers from the Japanese organization Stardom, and then you also had luchadors from CMLL out of Mexico. So you're dealing with some very large organizations all competing under one umbrella with Wrestle Dynasty. So I want to get into that a little bit right before we kind of go into our Raw stuff for the week, or for today, I should say. And then we're going to wrap things up today as I do another PWI 500 random. And this time we are going to be going about a female wrestler as we go forward with that. So as we get into the stuff for today, like I said, I'm starting off with New Japan. I'm not going to go into a ton of details, guys. I am not unknown to the fact that probably the majority of you out there aren't watching Japanese wrestling. I get that. I understand that. Not everyone is into it to the depths that I am. But if you get a chance, guys, you want to see like in-ring action, hard-hitting in-ring action, Japanese wrestling is got it in spades. And the thing of it is there's not a language barrier for us because we get an English announce team, okay, and they do a fantastic job. So Triller TV has these pay-per-views available. They actually had a package deal on it. I feel like I'm advertising for Triller. I swear I'm not. They charge me full. So, but they ran 2 great shows. I want to start with Wrestle Kingdom. Again, a lot of action. I'm not going to go through every single match in detail. By the way, Wrestle Kingdom was a little smaller of a crowd as well, and it was also a smaller card as well. But as I watched Dynasty, it just kind of kept growing. And the same thing kind of happened at Wrestle Kingdom. But I want to talk about a return, actually. You probably don't know this guy. If you watch New Japan, you definitely know him. He's actually made some appearances in AEW as well. They call him ELP, El Fantasmo. And El Fantasmo made his return back to New Japan Wrestling. He had a little bit of a neck injury, I believe, if my memory serves, but he comes back, wins the ladder match over Jeff Cobb and Ren Narita. Really good hard-hitting match, lots of high flying, but also lots of real hard-hitting action. Jeff Cobb brings the hard-hitting action, guys. But El Fantasma wins big over there. We had Tanahashi over Evil. I'm a big fan of Evil, actually. That sounds weird. I'm a big fan of Evil. No, Evil, he's the head of the House of Torture faction over in New Japan, and he's one of those guys that he's fun to watch. He's kind of hard not to watch. What else did we have? We had Finley, actually, my guy, David Finley. Let me rewind here. If you don't know who David Finley is, he's the son of Fit Finley, former WWE and WCW superstar, thought of as being one of the more respected members of professional wrestling. He's been a trainer for years as well. But David Finley is his son. He's been making a name for himself with the Bullet Club, the War Dogs over in New Japan for a while. He's actually one of the guys I really, really enjoy. It's one of the reasons I started watching New Japan recently, was to see this action of David Finley. And I'm a Bullet Club guy. I like that stuff. I'm not going to say I didn't jump on that friggin' bandwagon. But David Finley actually lost to Nota Tsuji, and he's a younger kid. They're kind of giving him a push. We'll see what happens. But anytime Finley loses, I don't like it. So that basic pay-per-view was kind of over for me until the very next match. And the next match was actually a double title match. You had Shingo Takagi, who is the never open weight champion for New Japan Wrestling, taking on Kinoshite Takeshita. I know that's a lot of Japanese words. I get it, guys. Bear with me. We're doing the best we can, right? Guys, this match, on my note here, what I put is shit, because that's all I could say. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. These dudes, they put on an absolute show. Two hard hitters, two guys that did a good job of handling each other. It had a lot of action from beginning to end. It had a lot of give and take, but you had Takeshita win, and that actually will grant him the never open weight title of New Japan to go along with his international title for AEW that we already got. So what we're going to get here is another belt coming into AEW. So that's kind of an interesting play. I like to see where they're going to go with that. But what I'd really like to see is Takagi come over and get some AEW run time. He was over during Forbidden Door. That's who took on Bryan Danielson, and I thought he did a great job. So maybe we can see Takagi get back over. The main event of Kingdom was a championship match. I've mentioned ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr. He is British, and he is the New Japan World Champion. And guys, he's a catch wrestler. He's a transition wrestler. It's an interesting style that he adapts to other styles. He's just fun to watch. I think I said the other day, I just bought one of his t-shirts because I wanted to have it, and I thought it was kind of cool. Who else has a Zack Sabre Jr. t-shirt around me? Nobody. So that was good. But the other thing we had was Zack Sabre Jr. taking on a protege of Jon Moxley, which is kind of a weird thing. Also a protege. He's worked a little bit with Kenny Omega as well. His name's Shota. They call him the Shooter, Shota Umino. All right, and this was his first shot at the title. He's a younger guy, and let me tell you guys, coming out party for the Shooter, okay? And we're going to get to him. He had a pretty big role on Wrestle Dynasty as well. Speaking of which, Zack Sabre Jr. will win this match against Shooter, rolls over into the next day against Wrestle Dynasty, where he's going to take on a familiar name to you guys, Ricochet. All right, and I'll get to that match in just a second. But for Wrestle Dynasty, again, I'm going to try to go a little bit fast here. I don't want to spend a ton of time on all these matches. Opened up with a lucha gauntlet. I'm going to be honest with you. I was super excited for this because I love luchador wrestling. It's fun. It's different. It's not something that we see all the time. But for me, it was just, I thought we're going to get a gauntlet match. We're going to get luchador after luchador coming in. And it was just meh. Like it didn't really appeal to me. I don't know why. It just didn't tell the story that I wanted. And you get that sometimes when you see wrestlers from different federations kind of intermingling with one another. So I didn't like that. We had Tanahashi, President Tanahashi, the Ace, as they call him. He took on Katsuhori Shibata, who actually is in AEW. He runs the New Japan Dojo in Los Angeles. But Shibata, legend, Tanahashi, legend. They came up together in this business, and I'm going to tell you, thought the match was not good. I didn't care for it. The action was kind of slow. I know Shibata is a slower developing type wrestler, but this one just didn't work for me. And I'm not one to ever say I don't crap on a match, and I'm not going to crap on this. I'm not going to fail it, but it's in that D range if I had to put my teacher shoes on here. Okay, so that wasn't bad. What else did we have here? Oh my gosh, the next match that came on, women's match, and I'm going to eat crow. Okay, a couple weeks ago, I made the statement that I thought that AEW were doing a disservice to Mercedes Moné. All right, they must have freaking heard me, because ever since then she has put on banger after banger. And in this one, she took on Mina Shirakawa. Now, again, if you're an AEW fan, you've probably seen Mina a little bit. She was over with Mariah May not long ago. But Mina's a superstar in her own right, total Japanese superstar. And her and Mercedes, they just went at it. They were great dance partners. They put on an absolute banger. The match went longer than most women's matches do in New Japan Wrestling, which was kind of awesome for me. But guys, Mercedes is showing once again why she's considered one of the greatest of all time. Some people consider her the greatest of all time. We'll get to a women's Mount Rushmore down the road, but she's putting on a show right now. But I want to say this: Mina Shirakawa is a star. All right. I know, like NXT right now, we just got Julia over. Stephanie Vaquer just came over. We're getting all these new transplants. Guys, when Mina Shirakawa's freaking contract is up, let's get her over into America full time. All right. Because I think she could shine over here. So, some of the other matches here, we had David Finlay coming back again. He took on Brody King of AEW. Hard hitting match. Same thing happened. We had Shota Umino again taking on Claudio Castagnoli of the Death Riders. Once again, hard-hitting match. That's what you get with New Japan Wrestling. You just get a lot of chops. You get a lot of elbows. And you get back rakes. And you got to love back rakes. All right. So a couple other matches. We had the Bucks back, guys. They win the New Japan World Tag Team titles in a four-way. It was a fantastic match. We had TMDK involved in that. We had the Bullet Club involved in that. We had United Empire involved in that. But the Young Bucks making their return. This is the first time they've been back since they lost the titles in AEW to Private Party, and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson looked fantastic. Also, new ring gear for the Young Bucks. Thank you. Let's get more to wrestling gear. I don't mind the suit look. I'm good with it. But I want the suit look to kind of give me a wrestling vibe. So Bucks were back. That was great. Yoda he took on Jack Perry. Hard hitting. Imagine that, a New Japan match that was hard hitting. Suji beat Perry. I was actually surprised that Suji went over there, considering that he had won the night before in a match that I didn't think he would win. I thought maybe we would see another flip there, but I guess the Suji push is real, and I can deal with that. Now, I'm going to skip the next match because I want to get to the main event real quick. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet. Guys, this is one of the best matches of the year. All right. I'm not telling you have to go buy this pay-per-view. You can still get it on Triller. But you need to find this match, because this match is the ultimate cross of styles. You had catch wrestling, transition wrestling, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus ultimate gymnastic high flyer action from Ricochet. And these two dudes put on an absolute show. Again, I am not the huge gymnastic high flyer guy. I like it when it's done lucha style. I like it. I mean, I like all of it, but it's not my choice. But with this one, guys, and I'm not a Ricochet guy, but Ricochet, he definitely deserved a tip of the hat here. Maybe it was Zack Sabre Jr. showing off that he might be the best in the world. I don't know. I'm not saying he's the best in the world, but he's definitely up in that top 5 action. So anyway, great match there. But that brings me to, by the way, Zack Sabre Jr. does defend and stills right there, as he'll keep holding on to that New Japan. I don't know where they're going with him next. It could be interesting. I wouldn't mind to see him over here. I wouldn't mind to see him maybe defend that belt a couple more times with AEW. By the way, New Japan, they're running shows in the United States coming up. They got some LA shows. They got, I think, San Jose, and I know we got a Chicago show coming up. So they're not just in Japan. So if you get a chance, there you go. That brings me to a very quick rundown of Collision. Guys, Collision was solid. Collision is Collision. It is that secondary show. I don't look at it as WCW Thunder, but at times it can kind of be that way. Although this time I thought it was halfway decent. Okay, they started off the show with a title match. We had the TNT title on the line with Daniel Garcia versus Mark Briscoe. First off, anytime Chicken Briscoe's in the ring, I'm going to watch. I'm there for it. Take my money. Okay, the guy entertains the hell out of me. I know he's not for everybody. He is definitely for me. Daniel Garcia, I thought he looked fine. I thought Chicken carried the match, but I thought Garcia did well. He's one of those guys that I think he gets better every time out, but then sometimes it's like, make that next jump. I don't know. Maybe we'll see more out of this as this title run keeps going. But guys, I'm going to predict. I don't think they'll have this belt on Garcia for a ton longer. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's vanilla for me, but maybe I don't know. We'll see the conflicting storylines. I'm not sure. It's just not grabbing me at the moment. Okay. And again, for Collision, I'm not going to go through every single match that we had. But I'll gloss over, I should say, some of the major stuff. We had Jeff Jarrett come out. He brings his boots. We all know what this is a sign of. This happened on Wednesday. Then on Collision, he's going to have his first little go of a retirement match. I don't know if this is Tony Khan's way to like have the big send off. We're doing the Cena send off in WWE, so maybe we're going to do a Jeff Jarrett send off in AEW. I'm here for it. JARRETT. I'm good with it. I got it. Fargo strut. I'm here for it. But I don't know. It's not grabbing me, and I don't know. I can't say why. But what are you gonna do? Tony, figure this one out. All right. You need to figure this one out. All right. Keep doing the good work, but figure this one out. Along the same lines of figuring this one out, I said on my last show when we were talking about AEW, we're leading into that acclaimed breakup. Can we just do it? Like, let's just do it. I don't know what direction they're going. I told you guys last week that I thought they booked Caster very soft. I didn't think they made him look strong at all. They didn't do him any favors with the backstage segment that they had here. I don't know where we're going with this. We know the Acclaim breakup is coming. I will say this. It was interesting how we had the Billy Gunn mentions. Okay, having that thrown in there kind of made me a little bit more. It's like dangling the carrot just a little bit over my head to give me that daddy ass little mention. But keep it going. What else do we have going on here? Hangman beats up Christopher Daniels in the back. Guess what? Hangman Page is still mad. All right, we get it. You're mad. I think that we're getting ready to see him on a singles push for that belt. I know he's been in the mix. He's had a couple three-way, whatever, four-way match, but I think we're getting ready to see the Hangman push. Maybe after one more little story and then we run with that. But who knows? Tony can flip it on us at a moment's notice. We know that. So Hangman beats up Christopher Daniels. Wow, he was in a shirt and tie. And then we also had Brian Cage in a very meaningless match winning $100,000. I didn't even jot down who all was in that match. I know Commander was in it. I'm glad that they put Brian Cage over. The Swolverine, so to speak. Who better than Cage? His shout out to Canyon. Okay, let's see. Let's go with this. Give me a Cage push. Give me a Cage push. I think Beast Mortos was in that one too. I like Beast. Let's do Cage versus Beast, and the winner gets the push. Let's do that. I'm here for it. Let's do it. I think I've said that like 16 times already today. So maybe wrestling was good this weekend. I don't know. Let's see. So that was kind of our in the middle stuff, but that brings me to our main event. We had Rated FTR, the Rated R superstar Cope, not Adam Copeland, not Edge, Cope. All right. I think he's coping with a lot of Tony's storylines right now. That are going to get better. Confidence in the show, right? So we got that happening. We had that Rated FTR taking on the Learning Tree. Hi guys. I'm loving this, by the way. I am all about Jericho. I've been about Jericho since the first time I saw Chris Jericho in WCW many moons and many pounds ago. Okay, that's for me and Jericho actually. But what we saw here was this match. I wasn't expecting anything out of it. I really wasn't. But I'm going to tell you, it hit for me. It really did. It totally hit for me. The match was great. Jericho squaring off against Cope, Edge, first time they had touched in 15 years. Now, that's special. Two long WWF guys, WWE guys, legends, Hall of Famers, but they're also both Canadians. So that kind of brings up another little special side of this. So definitely a sign of nostalgia. Once again, oh, Matt's liking nostalgia. Imagine that. But it was good. So I enjoyed it, and then hopefully we'll go a little bit further with that story. I would like for it to happen, but we know it's about to die because Cope is getting ready to fight Moxley. I'm good. I'm good. But it was neat. It was neat to see the one off. Also, I want to say this new gear in play for the Learning Tree. The Bad Apple, Brian Keith, wearing wrestling gear rather than looking like the High Plains Drifter. I thought that was kind of cool. So decent job on the new gear. FTR goes over. That's the way that one should have went. And honestly, Cope looks strong. And they're going to have to keep booking him to look strong like this if they are going to go up in that feud with Moxley, which is definitely where they're headed. So decent collision, best collision we've had in a while. We had some up downs, we had some ups, we had some downs, and we had some up downs. But overall, not bad. So that brings us. I feel like we got to take a breath. All right, that brings us to what we've all been waiting for. Tonight is the night. WWE Monday Night Raw Netflix debut. Guys, this is just like a PLE. This is a pay-per-view. This is everything we want it to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to get a taste of a little bit of everything. 3 hours plus of action. We know we're going to get a run over tonight, which is great. Thank you, Triple H, for that. But I want to go over a few things that we know is going to happen here, all right, in our Raw preview as we get away from our New Japan, we get away from our AEW, and we get to what all of you have been waiting for, right? I know most of you are WWE people. I'm fine. Hopefully, you'll give some of this other stuff a chance. But for the WWE stuff, oh my God. All right. This is the best Raw card. Well, let's just call it what it is. It's the best Monday Night Raw card ever. Okay. It really is. We are getting pay per view level matches throughout this card. You guys know, like, normally with a Monday Night Raw show, you get in 2 hours, or back when it was 3 hours, and you get maybe 3 to 5 matches in your backstage segments. Guys, we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 matches that we know for a fact that are happening. There's going to be more, but we know 4 that are 100% booked right now that are 4 pay-per-view level matches. Like, wow, thank you very much, and let's just keep rolling with this. Let's see how this card will continue to be booked, and I think it's going to be heavy as we roll. Not just the matches. All right, we know we're going to have multiple guests. Let's look. I see here 1, 2, 3, 4 guests for sure that we know are coming, and all 4 are going to be pulling some major weight. The other thing that I foresee happening in this Raw is I think we're going to see some storylines jump up on steroids. All right, I think I'm foreseeing some very major bloodline stuff. Guys, I'm sorry. There's no way this thing ends tonight. All right. There's no way this thing ends. Maybe we get a winner in the match. Maybe we don't. But I have a feeling we're going to see more tribal combat moving forward. The question really becomes who is going to be involved in said tribal combat. Is it Roman and Solo still? Is it Roman and Jay? Is it Jay and Solo? Or does the final boss come back? And we know the final boss is going to be in the house tonight. All right. Let me throw this one out there. Just a hypothetical. Solo loses tonight, right? Roman beats Solo. The ones go up. The Ulafala goes around the waist where it should be. And then out comes the final boss. Hear me out, okay? Out comes the final boss, and he says, no, this was all bullshit. Solo was just keeping this warm for me. This wasn't the real tribal combat. This was just to show that you still had your edge. I'll see you soon. as he turns around and he throws up the one as he walks out and the Rock's music hits. I don't know. I know that's me probably booking in heaven, but at the same time, I just throwing it out there. It might be pretty cool. So let's talk about this. The matches we have tonight, we know for a fact that are happening. Number one, Tribal Combat. I'm going with Roman over Solo tonight for the Tribal Combat, but I know the story's not going to end there. I'm going with my prediction to be my booking heaven that I just said, okay? We know we got CM Punk versus Seth. Okay, it is going to be Monday Night Rollins, and that's going to be all good and wonderful. But guys, I'm telling you, this match is the match that we've been waiting for. This might actually end tonight. We might continue this feud as well. I don't know, but I'm going Punk over Seth tonight, and I'm going clean. All right, I'm going clean. I don't think we're going to have any interference here. I think this is going to be legit. All right, we got Liv defending her title against Rhea. I think this is the end of the Liv Morgan run. I think Rhea takes her belt back tonight, and then we get set for something really special with a Rhea run towards WrestleMania. I'm not sure if Liv gets back in that title picture. We'll see where we go with it, but I'm going Rhea over Liv. Early in the night, I know we'll see this match, one my wife is most looking forward to, as we'll see Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. I'm going Drew over Jey here. I'm going clean Drew over Jey, and then I'm going lots of action afterwards, okay? We know we got Cody's going to be there tonight. We know we'll get an appearance from KO at some point with the Winged Eagle. Who's coming tonight? We know we're going to have the final boss. The Rock is going to be there. By the way, saw Moana 2. Excellent job. We know we're going to have John Cena there. Unfortunately, you can't win them all. Logan Paul's going to be back. I know he said about a month ago that he retired from wrestling. That's not true. Logan Paul will be back. We know that Hollywood Hulk Hogan is supposed to be in the house tonight as well. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of nostalgia. I had a feeling we're going to get a lot of throwbacks. I think we're going to get a little bit of everything. So special night tonight for Monday Night Raw. Guys, the great thing about Netflix is if you can't catch it starting at 8 o'clock, you know you can catch it at any time. I will say, watching football on Netflix the last couple games they've had on, it seems like they fixed a lot of the problems that they had with the Mike Tyson Logan Paul fight. Jake Paul fight. So fingers crossed. Here's hoping that we have a wonderful night and that Raw goes off as well as I think it's going to. I want to say this though. I'm setting a very, very high expectation for tonight's show. Okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get this show. I got a good feeling about it. Let's just get ready. Guys, it's a new era, all right? Professional wrestling is so damn hot, and I'm just glad that I can be a part of it. I'm glad that the Slow Burn is a part of it. I'm glad you guys are watching. Again, keep sending me ideas. Email me stuff. That's TheSlowBurnWrestlingPod at yahoo.com. Hit me up here on Facebook, Instagram. We're on TikTok. Pick up on the YouTube channel, guys. The Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all pro wrestling storylines live. All right. I said to you guys, we're going to wrap up with a PWI random today. I did a PWI random for the men the other day. I got a good one. I got somebody that I knew. We landed on JDC, Johnny Dango Curtis, all right, formerly known as Fandango. Today, we are going with the women, all right? We got the PWI Women's 500. All right, so we're going to do our random spotlight on the PWI Women's 500. Who we got? I'm flipping through. We're going, and I got it right here. Number 71. I have no idea who this one is. Japanese wrestler, Umagi Sayakaya. All right, she is number 71. Unagi Sayakaya. All right. She's in DDT, so that is a high level federation over in Japan. So there you go, Unagi. You're my random PWI 500 wrestler of the day. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. Enjoy Raw. We got NXT coming up tomorrow night. I'll be giving a preview on that. Probably take a couple days off, do an NXT and a Raw recap together. Guys, it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time for professional wrestling. I'm so glad that we're part of it, and I am so glad that you're giving me a chance to give you some of my wrestling useless knowledge. Thank you guys so much. This has been the Slow Burn Professional Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt Brandon. Stay tuned to us, guys. In this life, we are wrestling everything. Stay on top.